Some people just like to be lied to. Some people like pure honesty. This is the nature of human society. Some of us want smoke blown up their skirts, and other people, they just want you to tell the truth. It's kind of like if I had like a trashy sister, and she dressed really sleazily or something. It's like, sister, I love you, but you're dressed like a streetwalker. I think we call that tough love, right? Let's state a fact here. And by the way, I got a comment from like 20 people yesterday calling me unstable. Let me actually correct that for you. And this is about the camera reviews and the video that I actually made yesterday about Nikon. Do you really think the guy that translates ancient Greek and Pali and writes books on hardcore metaphysics and philosophy is unstable? I'm the guy when everybody else loses their freaking mind and runs around like a chicken with their head cut off. I'm the guy that remains hyper cool and logical. All the emotional stuff that I actually put into any video, that's for the sake of pure humor. Actually, also got a lot of people asking me if I was going to remove the Nikon tattoo that I got. People fail because people don't really watch an entire video, because sometimes maybe I talk too much, or people these days, they kind of have the attention span of a mosquito. I said distinctly in that video yesterday on Nikon that I said I still love Nikon. I always have. I grew up with Nikon. And I've actually known since photography school, when I started talking to a lot of people that had interactions with Nikon, what an IBM, we're too big to fail, go screw yourself IBM mentality that Nikon has, and it's actually gotten worse. You think that when Nikon's financials dipped into the toilet that they would have we're doing something wrong here. But they're not. It's kind of like the ivory tower thing. Everything is starting to rot at the bottom, but it hasn't made its way yet up to the ivory tower, so I think that's why Nikon is still... There are a lot of lifers at Nikon, and I actually saw some of these at the Photo Plus convention up in New York. They are really IBMers, and I used to work for an old IBM company, which was Lexmark, and there are a lot of old IBM holdovers that work there. So for years, let's actually do a truth-seeking thing here, okay? For years, I got tons and tons of flack from people. So, all you do is praise Nikon. You're such a Nikon fanboy. And then yesterday, I actually got a bunch of Nikon fanboys, trying to, trashing me and, saying all this hyperbolic nonsense. And, it's like, why would they send you a camera? All you've been doing is trashing the Z. So why do you assume that I actually trashed the Z50? The Z50, for example, other than lacking a joystick and having a couple interface issues, is actually a well-priced camera for the money. I actually had a chance to use it up in New York. I've had a chance to use the Z50 for 3 different occasions, but not like a really in-depth interview. But it doesn't take me long to actually evaluate a camera. So there's a lot of people that stupidly assumed that I was just going to rake that camera over the coals. I have said accurately that the Z-series Z-mount lenses, they really are horribly junky. I mean, as an owner of literally countless hundreds and hundreds of Nikkor lenses, and as a person who owns more Nikon lenses than the top 10 YouTube photography channels combined, I can tell you those Z lenses are pretty freaking junky. And I'm not talking about the glass that's in them. However, I've actually heard that on 2 of those lenses there's more than a few polycarbonate aspherical elements, which means they're plastic elements. But that's nothing new for Nikon. They've actually done that in the past. But apparently they're using a lot more plastic aspherical elements than they ever had in the past. And that's pretty crummy. I don't know if you know this or not, but plastic lens elements, which these are plastic also. They're polycarbonate, the glasses that I'm wearing. That's just not good. The only thing, and this is how I actually sleep well at night, the only thing I actually have to do is be perfectly logical and fair about any and all cameras that I review. I can actually sleep soundly at night because I'm not selling stuff. I'm fair in my reviews, and because, unlike others, I actually, care about people, spending or wasting money on junk. I actually do. I've trashed Fujifilm on several, not trashed them, but I've raked them over the coals on several things that they've done which are wrong. And actually, the video after this, I'm going to go down a small list, many of which have been corrected by them, of, dumb things that Fujifilm has done on cameras and other fronts. So I'm completely fair. That's actually how I sleep well at night. I don't have any affiliate links. So yesterday, apparently, like nobody, or seemingly nobody, a lot of people did. A lot of people did not hear me say, which I did say in the video from yesterday, that I'd be the first to praise the next great Nikon camera. The first one, or well, maybe the 10th, obviously I'm not going to be the first person to have my hands on it, but I'm going to be the first person to praise that. And I also said that I still like Nikon in the video yesterday. Yesterday I told you exactly what happened in the interaction between me and Nikon and nothing more. I have not reached out to them in 5 years, and I did, and that was probably my mistake, but I told you exactly what happened. I gave you a slice into the IBM corporate don't give a damn, too big to fail flavor at Nikon. I absolutely did. You have the 5% or so of you that actually, which I thought was funny. Let me actually spell out the facts for you here. There's about 5% of you or so, roughly, actually probably less than 5%, that called me unstable. Okay? But unlike so many other miserable YouTube reviewers, here's some things that I've never done. I have never, in 6,000 videos and many, many years reviewing, I've never jumped ship from any camera system. Yeah, that's a fact. Never have I jumped ship. That would be unstable. Like I jump ship, and there's another big YouTuber. He jumped ship, then he jumped back again, then he jumped back again. Yeah, that would be the definition of unstable. I've never done that. I've never posted a single affiliate link. That is actually controversial. Yeah, I'm not an ambassador for any camera company, nor would I ever be, obviously so, but you can't trust an ambassador. There's actually a Canon ambassador who's telling you how their new camera is a game changer. Like you couldn't get the shots on the sidelines of the sports action before, but this new camera from Canon is a game changer. It's like, aren't you an ambassador? That's controversial. That's actually the definition of controversial. I've always logically reviewed any and all cameras. And like I said, if you think that the guy who writes translations of ancient metaphysics is unstable, then I will actually put forward that I don't think you're very intelligent. Either that or you don't have a spectrum of all the YouTube nonsense that goes on when it comes to camera reviews. Posting affiliate links, selling t-shirts and hats, just making controversial videos for the sake of controversy. That's unstable. That's controversial. Selling stuff. Borrowing stuff just so... I own too many cameras. I mean, everybody knows it. Even if you hate me, I own too many cameras. And I don't need to really buy another camera. Of course, if something really great comes out, what I've done in the past is I've sold off old cameras. I had 3 Nikon D4s. I still have 2 Nikon D4s. I sold off a few cameras and quite a few really large lenses to pay for the GFX 100, which I actually don't have yet. But I mean, there's an example of selling stuff. Oh, great, there's a commercial. I get to watch a commercial on the YouTube channel there. Okay. But yeah, not controversial at all. Let me actually spell some facts out for you. By the way, I still own 2 Nikon D4s, Nikon D850, 2 Nikon D500s, Nikon D3 and Nikon D3S. So I still own, 8 or 9 Nikon cameras. Here's past cameras that I've actually trashed from Nikon. Not trashed, but raked over the... Nikon D4S. It's actually a great camera, but it's way overpriced. It's been out now for ages, but the D4S is still in used good condition, obnoxiously overpriced. I can't recommend it at all. I've trashed it. Not that it's a bad camera, but it's obnoxiously overpriced for what it is. I mean, it's just stupid to think about buying a D4S. Buy a Nikon D4. There's one camera. The D3X. D3S is fine. A lot of sports photographers still use the Nikon D3S. D3X, they took it too far. It actually has performance issues. The price for what it is, it's obnoxious. It's actually one of the worst value Nikons to possibly buy. I've said that consistently year after year. Nikon DF. Now, if you look at a DF, you think, and it has the same sensor and image processing engine as the Nikon D4 here that I have in my hand, which is one of my favorite cameras of all time. The the Nikon DF, it's horrible. It's got the autofocus system of the Nikon D610. Even though it looks really sturdy, it's not. The central section is plastic. It's really flimsy. There have been more than a few Nikon DFs, but it looks really tough, but it's not. If you've actually seen the bare bones skeleton of the Nikon DF, you would understand that. That's another reason why I trashed the Nikon DF. The DF was a failure. They didn't listen to photographers. It's a failure on many fronts. I'm not the first person to say. There's another Nikon that I've trashed consistently, year after year. Nikon D610. Spits oil on the sensor. Crummy autofocus system. Autofocus issues aplenty. It's just that it has great output, just like the Nikon D750 does. But it's a miserable camera with a design flaw. The Nikon D750. Great output. I owned a Nikon D750 for a couple years, but I never said it was an awesome camera that everybody should buy. I never said that. I was very consistent in my review of it. It had 4 recalls. The camera has been a Frankenstein nightmare for Nikon. The recalls and another recall and another. It was just unbelievable, the Nikon D750. Now the output is fine. Wonderful, actually. Magical even. But the Nikon D750 is a failure because it's a failure. Recalls, crashing, shutter lockups. Can't do anything with it. It's just frozen. Becomes a useless brick. That's a failure of a camera. I consistently said that. That's the reason why I never mention the camera anymore. I was the first person on YouTube, even when they came out. Remember those 4 obnoxious GoPro knockoffs that Nikon made, including one of them as a 360 camera, which didn't really work at all? I was the first person on YouTube to trash. Like, Nikon, you're making these GoPro knockoff garbage. It's going to be a total failure for you. And I was 1,000% right. Even the local Nikon rep said to me face to face, he came short of just calling it everything other than junk. He wanted to say it, but he's a Nikon rep. It is a junk, and they were junk. Nikon lost their ass on those GoPro junk cameras. I trashed Nikon for it. I actually got a lot of flack for that. Yeah. I said, no, these are going to be a failure. They were a total failure for Nikon. They lost their ass on them. It was stupid as hell. Some corporate stooge at Nikon probably convinced some other higher up corporate stooge at Nikon, yeah, this is what we need to do. We need to start making GoPro junk knockoff. Big mistake. I was 100% right. I've not been a fanboy of any company at all. If they make trash, I'll be the first person to say it. I don't have any affiliate links, and I'm about actually praising good cameras. I'm a fanboy of quality, period, regardless of who the hell makes it. A fanboy of quality. People are so finicky. They don't actually see the spectrum of what I've said about Nikon over the years. They don't. I made an accurate video yesterday telling exactly what happened about the corporate BS that goes on at Nikon and how disgustingly rude and horrible they are. But I've known this for years. However, it's even worse than I thought. They're horrible. But that doesn't mean I think any less of Nikon. And I said in the video yesterday that if Nikon's next camera is super awesome, the D6 for example, I'll be the first person to praise it. The absolute first person. By the way, I was using the Nikon D780 yesterday. I posted a picture of me hands-on yesterday with it. I only had about 20 minutes with it. It's nothing basis for a full review, but that is the best $1,200 DSLR that you could get for $2,300. I mean, if you want an awesome $1,200 DSLR for $2,300, that's the one to get. It's actually quite junky. There's no vertical grip capability for the Nikon D780. I actually could not believe a few of the features on the D7. I don't want to go into that. It's not good. Not good. So, I've not jumped ship from any camera system. I've never posted any affiliate links, and I've always been logical and fair to every camera that I've reviewed. And that's how I sleep well at night. You know, some people don't have issues with that. They just post affiliate links and just tell you junk is awesome. It's like, who gives a damn? You know, they click on the link, I make a buck. That is what they think, and that is exactly what they do. I've never done that, never have, and never will. That's the definition of controversial. That's the definition of unstable. People, these YouTuber idiots that jump, I'm selling my system, I'm going to Sony, and then they leave Sony and they come back to, you know, that's unstable. I've never told anybody to sell off their gear. I get emails and questions all the time. Well, should I buy this, sell this to buy this? And I say I never comment on that. I never tell anybody to sell their gear off. So, here's another guy. He's a professional photographer. He actually emailed me. I'm not going to give you his name. I know for a fact that he is a hardcore professional Nikon photographer. As a professional Nikon photographer, over 30 years of experience using Nikon, I too have been treated rudely and very unprofessionally with limited or no people skills by several big Nikon representatives. Unfortunately, this is the behavior that seems to be the norm rather than the exception. Nikon's customer service, PR, and basic understanding of good and proper customer relations and people skills is very sorely lacking. That's from a hardcore pro Nikon shooter of 30 years. And yeah, and mirrors exactly what I said yesterday. I told you the truth. I can sleep well at night because I said the facts. I didn't, inflate anything. I told you exactly what the hell happened. I never told anybody to sell off their Nikon gear. I never freaking said I was jumping ship. I never said any of that. I grew up with Nikon, and Nikon is not only not a perfect company, they're kind of, they really do have their heads up their butt. Let's just be totally honest. They have their heads up their ass. They really, really do. And all corporations are like this to a certain extent. The larger they are, the worse they are. It's kind of like all the countless thousands of people that are abused that work for Amazon. Oh my God. There's a local Amazon distribution facility. It's huge. One of the largest distributions for Amazon in the United States is right here in my town. And man, I've talked to some of the people that work there, and it's miserable. It's a super billion-dollar company that really treats a lot of people badly. So none of this is really shocking from Nikon, but it's worse than I thought. But I'm not going to feel bad or be raked over the coals by you or anybody else for making an accurate, logical video about exactly what the hell happened. I can proudly say that I'm more stable than the other YouTube content creators, always posting affiliate links, always jumping systems, I'm not jumped systems at all. Go find a video out of 6,000 that I made where I jumped systems. I'm selling off all my crap and buying this other crap. I've never done that, have I? Yeah. No. Controversial? No. The people that think I'm controversial, you don't know what the definition of true controversy is. It's being illogical, unintelligent, backhanded, conniving, posting affiliate links, just spamming and shilling and pimping. That's the actual definition of controversial. Not me, not someone that doesn't sell stuff, no affiliate links, and does fair, honest, logical reviews in hopes that people will save money and buy good stuff instead of trash. So nothing has changed. I've trashed Nikon cameras in the past that I said are bad values, like the D4S, D3X, DF, D610, Nikon D750. I've been 100% consistent. The fact that Nikon has not come out with anything recently that is worth buying is not jumping ship, and it's not trashing Nikon. It's like, Nikon, you've not come out with anything that I would consider freaking buying. If the D6 is awesome, I'll be the first person to say it. Don't know what the price is, don't know all the specifications yet. I don't know it, and you don't know it either, so I'm not going to comment on that. I know a few things about it, but not the entire picture, so I'm not going to feel bad about that video from yesterday because I was honest and logical, and if you don't agree, that's perfectly fine. But my consistency it's been spot on. Thanks so much for watching. Have a lovely day. The next video, I'm going to tell you the mistakes that Fujifilm has made. I'll be perfectly honest about it. And thanks so much for watching. Bye.